Today we're up at Mustang Lakes, that is in Celina, Texas, and we are going to be visiting a Highland home. Highland Homes is known for their design features in their home, the quality of it, and also their locations. The home that we're going to visit is a little bit over 3,900 square feet. It's a 5-bedroom, 5 full baths, 2 powder baths, with a media room, an office, and a 3-car garage. Before we take the tour, we're going to go ahead and talk with the sales specialist here at Highland Homes, and we're going to kind of throw her for some questions, and she's going to tell us a little bit about Mustang Lakes and also Highland Homes. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Aisha, the sales specialist here. Aisha, go ahead and tell us a little bit about Mustang Lakes, the history of it, why someone would want to move to Mustang Lakes first, and then we'll go ahead and jump into Highland Homes.
Certainly.
Aisha, go ahead and tell us about Mustang Lakes first before we get into Highland Homes.
Sure. Mustang Lakes started out as a ranch that was owned by the former mayor of Dallas. This was his weekend getaway. He came up here and bred racehorses that raced competitively. Then sold it off to the developer, and when he sold it off to the developer made him a promise that they would work to preserve the land that he had spent so much time on. So first thing the developer did was he spent $3 million on the trees, on preserving the trees. So there were beautiful trees on this property when it was a ranch, and the developer dug those trees up, put them on, you have to use your imagination a little bit, but put them on the back of a flatbed, took them off site, kept them alive for 3 years, and then replanted them strategically throughout the community. So when you drive into Mustang Lakes, you almost feel this presence, this energy. It just feels completely different from the moment you drive into the community, and that's because this land has such a rich history. The trees are older, they're more mature, they're very beautiful, and it really gives this community straight out of the, straight from the get-go, a beautiful presence.
Yeah, I've noticed that with driving in here that you have the different lakes. The clubhouse is phenomenal. We'll kind of go through that here in a minute. Mm-hmm. I did notice, going back in the history of it, there were some lakes. So yeah. I saw the pictures. They just looked so serene back in the day.
Yeah, really beautiful.
So go ahead and tell us about Highland Homes.
Sure. Highland Homes has been building in Texas for 40 years. Started by a brother and sister. And they just knew they could build a better home and in more beautiful locations, and it has grown. Started here in Plano, actually, and now we have divisions in all 4 of the Texas metroplexes: Dallas, Houston, Austin, and San Antonio.
So that is a private company, correct?
It's an employee-owned now.
Oh, okay.
It started as a privately held company between the 2 siblings, but I think it was 2015, somewhere in there, they actually made it an employee-owned company.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that gives great incentives to the employees to really want to shine.
Yes, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about kind of the features of Mustang Lakes. What, say, if you were to buy into this, I'm not going to say a subdivision, it's a lifestyle.
Right. Yeah.
So what would someone expect to get once they moved into the area?
That's a wonderful question. In Mustang Lakes, you can expect a very nice variety of amenities. We have 18 miles of hike and bike trails throughout the community. There are 14 catch and release lakes. They're quite beautiful. They have fountains. They're really lovely lakes throughout the community. As I mentioned, they are catch and release. So as a resident, you can go fish.
So you're not going to have the catfish fry.
Yeah, not the cabbage fry, not from that. But it is really fun, and it's really cute when I drive in the morning. Sometimes you'll see, the kids out fishing or whatever. It's very quaint. It's very sweet. Amenity Center is one of the largest in North Texas. It has the amenity center itself is 12,000 square feet. It has a 2,500 square foot gym for residents only. The gym is modeled after Lifetime Fitness. So it's very beautiful. The cardio machines overlook the lake. They overlook the swimming pools. Speaking of swimming pools, there are 3 swimming pools at the amenity center, residents only on those. And of course, there are playground equipment, there are tennis courts, there are numerous parks scattered throughout the facility, basketball courts, etc., etc. Second amenity center is scheduled to break ground in 2027. And from what I've heard, the plans for that second amenity center will also include additional swimming pool, as well as pickleball courts and some, parks and some additional features.
Right. A lot of the communities that I've been to, they have to throw in a pool and just a little clubhouse to say, and maybe a mile of bike and hike trails, just so they can call it a planned community. But this is really, when I say lifestyle, every time I've been out here, you just kind of feel like you're in your own little bubble away from the city.
It's a very unique community. I've sold in many communities around the DFW metroplex. None, in my opinion, quite as unique with the features that Mustang Lakes offers, the serenity with the mature trees. Additionally, there's a social director for the residents. Her job is to throw social events. So she averages about 2 to 3 per week. And she'll do everything from bourbon tastings to painting classes to kids back to school to have a musician come and play on the amphitheater and bring your blanket and your picnic basket and sit and enjoy. So full-time social director, that makes it really easy for our new residents, whether they're coming from out of state or they're here locally, but just moving to Mustang Lakes. Easy for them to get to know their neighbors in a very low-key way between the social events and the walking trails and the beautiful lakes. Just, leave your house and you'll meet your neighbors, so it's very nice. Included in the HOA. HOA for me here is $169 a month for my home buyers. And included in that, you're going to have full front yard maintenance. That's going to be your mowing, edging, tree trimming, shrub trimming, pre-emergent, fertilizer, all that included in your HOA. So that's perfect for you. You get to save all your time, but guess what? Your neighbor's yard looks perfect at all times too.
I think that blends in with making sure the whole community stays united and everything taken care of.
Right.
You talked about kids a minute ago, so do y'all have a elementary school on site within the community?
Yes, there is an on-site elementary school that's zoned to Prosper ISD. However, half the community is in Prosper ISD and half is in Celina ISD.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've just known a lot of people that have moved up here that this is where they want to have their forever home. Mm-hmm. And so I've just noticed that it's not just the kid or it's not just families starting off, but it's families that are retiring and moving up here, and I just see such a blended community.
That is a great point, and something that I think is also very unique to Mustang Lakes is you're absolutely right. You'll see everybody here. It's a very blended, cohesive but blended environment. So you'll have families that are just starting out, and you'll have empty nesters and everything in between. Mustang Lakes is really on the I like to call it the 3 corners. We're located in Celina, but we're right on the border with Prosper and McKinney. So depending on which side of the street you step on, you may be in Prosper, you may be in McKinney, you may be in Celina. So it's a great location in the DFW metroplex. Far enough away from the traffic where it's very quiet and peaceful and serene, but very easy access to multiple points throughout the metroplex.
Right. That's one thing I've noticed, that the traffic around, I guess when you're closer into town, when I say that, everything's just being built off of Highway 75 or just off of the main thoroughfares. This is far enough away from the heavy traffic areas. And one thing I have noticed too is the outer loop is now open. So I can, from Mustang Lakes, I can go and hop on the outer loop, and I'm on 75 within, I want to say, about 8 minutes. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Outer loop is open. It's a beautiful drive.
Yeah.
Have you driven it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's so pretty. So that's open. That's a great connector between 75 and 121. Excuse me, 121. That's a great connector between 75 and DNT. In addition, if you drive south just a couple of miles, you'll hit 380, about 2 miles south of here, 2.5 miles south of here to get to 380. And again, that's a great connector. Will take you anywhere you need to go as well.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out. I didn't mean to just throw stuff at you, but I didn't mean to throw things out at you, but you really do know your stuff, and I know that how much you really like Highland Homes, and hopefully that Mrs. Brock is watching this so she knows what a great employee you are.
Thank you.
Anyway, thanks again.
Thank you for having me.
This is such a beautiful Highland home. I know that they have just revamped this home, and they are always on the forefront of the design of it. If you'd like to see this house or any other house in Mustang Lakes, feel free to reach out to me by either calling me or texting me at 972-754-9196, or you can email me at pierce@pierceandrews.com. And as always, I hope you guys have a blessed day. Take care.